working into the 10 and 2. Now, the 10 and 2 is the original swing of how it was included in training in India. It is a more complex swing because there's 2 poles, and instead of pulling in the center, you're going to create a pull on a diagonal, tying in the X of the body. So once you're very comfortable with your 360, you can begin to progress into your 10 and 2. And I want you to think of the 10 and 2, and I'm going to shout out my friend Paul Gray, who, when I was first learning, there was one cue that he had that really resonated with me. And it's creating a triangle. So we talked about the triangle in our proper setup of bringing the mace into the rack position. And then we want to think of tying in the X of the body. And that downward pull is the tip of the triangle. If you are not quite ready to swing your mace, you could prime the pattern with body contact. And this is a technique that I learned from my mentor, Paul Volkovinsky. So you're going to take your Gada into your front rack position. I'm placing the Gada on my left shoulder. And as you can see, I'm not fully squared center. I am taking the right shoulder and I'm thinking I'm kind of pushing down into my right side. Here's the tying in the X. As I come through center, and you're familiar with this technique, the mace drops into that back position. There's the bull horns. And then I'm going to rotate and turn, tie in the X of the body, length through the forearms, and notice how I have my fingers are not in a closed grip. There's a little bit of length to the fingertips. And then I simply come back through center. The mace drops, hands to the base of the neck, turn. And so here is a very basic technique to learn what the 10 and 2 looks like. So to demonstrate the 10 and 2 without body contact, I'm going to go into my proper rack position, cast the mace head, and then pull on a diagonal. As you can see, I counterbalance the mace head. So I'm going to continue to cue as I pass the Gada over to Michael. He's going to set his position, and once, I'm going to take your stance just a little bit wider for those people that are beginners. He's going to cast over his left shoulder first, and then pull, creating that triangle. So Michael, I'd like you to demonstrate a shallow pull, and how a shallow pull, he's going to have less stability, and the mace is going to kind of control him a little bit. Still looks good because, he knows what he's doing. But now go back to adding some length. And again, he's tying in the X of the body, more length. And the mace is staying close to him in the backswing. What was important to note about the technique there, again, on your pulling over the shoulder, driving down through the feet, and you should feel a little bit of that rotational power.